of the time we are not aware of the kind of amount or the dosage that is required on a daily basis, and what are the positive impact of those herbs, and what is the quantity in which we have to consume these herbs. It is very important. So normally when we take any drug, like when you get a prescription from your doctor, so there is a very specific amount, quantity, duration, time is mentioned on your prescription. Okay. For example, if your doctor has suggested you to take an antibiotic course, so they'll mention the quantity, like it is a 500 mg tablet or a 1000 mg tablet. Similarly, if they also mention that you have to take this for 3 days or for 5 days, and they'll also mention the time, like either you have to take it before breakfast, after breakfast, when are you going to take this? And when we follow that prescription, it's like exactly the same way we follow it, and we get the results. But when it comes to the food, or when it comes to basically the herbs when we consume, so this is something that we have seen, that people consume it. Sometimes the quantity is not very specific. Sometimes they forget it to take, maybe once in a week or twice in a week they are consuming it. Yeah, am I audible now? If anybody can tell me,
Yes, ma'am.
am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So basically, in today's session, we will be talking about herbs. Okay, that why these herbs are important, and what is the role of these herbs, and what is the impact of these herbs when you are taking these herbs in a proper dosage and a proper time of the day, and the duration. It is very important. And we should also consider, if there is any kind of contraindication with any of your health issues. It is very important. So we have just discussed, I don't know, like I was audible or not earlier, but sometimes it happens that when you are when you prescribe some herbs to your patients, or maybe when you are consuming any herb, and if you are not taking it on a regular basis, or sometimes the quantity is also not accurate, and especially the duration, sometimes you take it for 4 days or 2 days or 3 days, then it is not going to show any impact. Okay, so basically today what we are going to learn, we will be discussing about few natural herbs which are available very easily in India especially, and what are the benefits of those herbs. Okay, so and we will be taking the questions by the end of this session. So let's start today's session. So we will be starting with a herb which we call turmeric. We all know that turmeric is very effective, and it has anti-inflammatory action. But when you have to consume turmeric, make sure that you buy turmeric which has the medicinal properties. Okay, which means that you should take organic, turmeric, and the turmeric you should not consume directly the powder. Maybe you must have seen turmeric in the raw form. When you consume turmeric in its pure form, okay, it has positive impact on your health. And turmeric is something, when you can also you can consume it with milk also, and you can consume it with water also. Okay, depending upon the prakriti, or depending upon the kind of disease you are. If you are giving turmeric to a person who's having vata prakriti, okay, or the person is having joint pain, so use turmeric. And the minimum, start any herb that you are consuming, start with a minimum quantity. Okay, like for turmeric, if you want to start, you can start with 2 to 5 grams of turmeric in 100 ml of milk, boil it, and then have it warm, not cold. Okay. So this is for people who are having Vata personality, people who are having Pitta personality, because the nature of turmeric is it is warm in nature. Okay. So when you combine it with milk, you can balance out the potency of that turmeric. In Kapha people, we can also give turmeric with water, with warm water. Okay. So, what are the diseases in which you can prescribe turmeric as a medicine? So, turmeric is beneficial for the people who are having any kind of skin problems like allergies. You can also give turmeric to the people who are having joint pains. Okay. So people having joint pain or any kind of pain in the body, turmeric is beneficial for them. If there is any kind of inflammatory disorders in your body, you can give turmeric infusion. Okay. Now, most of the time when people say that we use turmeric in the food or in the vegetable that we are taking. So again, like if you are consuming something in proper dosage and with a duration, you can see much better results with that particular herb. Okay. Next herb that we are going to talk about is cinnamon. Cinnamon is a herb which is very common in our kitchen, and cinnamon itself has the property wherein we can prescribe it for the cases where we can see the insulin resistance. So any one of you, if you can just share with me, like what is insulin resistance? Anyone having any idea what is insulin resistance condition is all about? You can raise your hand. Anyone who wants to participate and say what is insulin resistance? You can just raise your hand so that I can, tell your name and you can. Yes, diabetes. Yes, in diabetes type 2, we can see there is insulin resistance. Anyone else who wants to say? You can write down in chat box also. Sugar spike. Yes. When there is insulin resistance in your body, your blood sugar levels rises. Yeah, it's type 2 diabetes. Yes. So insulin resistance, as the name suggests, it is a condition where your cells become resistant to the insulin. And the role of insulin in our body is that the insulin, it provide the channel through which the sugar enters into your cells and provides energy. Okay, so someone has written that when pancreas. So yeah, this is the different condition. When pancreas don't work, they don't even produce the insulin in the body, which happens in type 1 diabetes, where yeah, hope my voice is audible. Okay. Yeah. So we were talking about insulin resistance. So when your cells become resistant to the insulin, it is not able to utilize the blood sugar which is present in your blood. And as a result of that, yeah, as a result of that, the blood sugar level rises in your blood. Okay. So cinnamon has the property, it has certain compounds into it, which prevent this condition of insulin resistance. Okay. It means the patients who are suffering from diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes, and the patients who are having PCOS. So PCOS or PCOD is again a condition where your blood sugar levels rises or where you are finding this condition of insulin resistance. Okay, so these are the two conditions where you can prescribe the cinnamon. So cinnamon can be given in the form of infusion. Cinnamon infusion we can prescribe 2 times in a day, especially after the meals. Okay, so cinnamon is something which is available very easily. You just have to do what you have to do. You have to take either a cinnamon powder or cinnamon stick you can take, and you can boil it in water for around 5 minutes, and then you have to consume that. Next herb that we are going to talk about today is the ginger. Ginger is something which is very common, and you can write it down in the chat because some of you are already aware of the facts. Next, we are talking about ginger. So any one of you who wants to share something about ginger, like what are the conditions in which you use ginger in your day-to-day life? So the most common use of ginger is for the people who are having cough and cold. Okay, so this is a remedy which has been used at home for years, wherein the person, if you are facing any chest congestion or throat infection, then you take ginger along with honey. So this is a very common usage of ginger that we are doing. But apart from that, ginger has anti-inflammatory properties. People who are having problems like digestive issues, gastritis, they are not able to digest their food. So ginger has that property. So what you have to do, you have to just cut down and slice the ginger in small pieces and put some rock salt onto it, some lemon, and consume it along with your food so that it can be easily digested. Similarly, you can also take ginger infusion. You just boil ginger in water and consume that water 2 times in a day. It is very effective for the people who are having low immunity. Okay. So for digestion and for females, during pregnancy, if you are facing any digestive trouble, nausea, and these kind of problems, then what you can do, you can have ginger in smaller quantities. So ginger in its, you can say in the fresh form is going to help you to in your digestive problems. And the same ginger, when you dry it, it is called dry ginger, which is called sont or shunthi in Ayurveda. Okay. So this dry ginger powder is also available. Sont is also available. And this dry ginger and the salt, it has the property that it provides warmth to the body. So people, especially having the joint pain or any kind of pain in the body, so sont is something that what you can do, you can take 1 teaspoon of dry ginger powder. And what you have to do, you have to, add this in a liter of warm water and just mix it and consume this throughout the day. So people at the age of 60, 65, 55, when they are facing the problem of joint pain, so you can prescribe them to have this dry ginger powder water. Okay, and then they can consume. So what is the role of this dry ginger powder? It basically, you must have heard the term ama. In Ayurveda, when your food is not digested properly, it produces a rasa, which we called ama or the toxin, which accumulates in the different part of your body and cause diseases. Especially in the people when they are having joint pain, there is accumulation of toxins in the joints. And to dissolve this ama or this toxin, this dry ginger powder is very effective. So this also you can use, and if you are not able to use the fresh ginger, you can use the dry ginger powder. Next herb that we are going to talk about today is black pepper. So black pepper is also something that we consume while cooking, when we are cooking rice or when we are making gravies. So, we use all these kind of spices. So black pepper, it is also called, just yeah. So we were talking about the black pepper, which is also called kali mirch. Okay. So what is the role of black pepper in our body? All these spices which we are talking about today, these spices provide warmth to your body. And we all know that when we are consuming these herbs in a proper quantity, then it's going to, have a positive impact on our health. But the moment you exceed the dosage, it happens during the COVID time also, when we were prescribing kadha or the decoction to our patients. Sometimes they are consuming it in very larger quantities. So just make sure that when you are consuming these spices or these herbs, and if you are already suffering from any conditions like where inflammation is very high in your body, for example, people who are having ulcerative colitis, people who are having bleeding piles or piles. Similarly, if patients who are suffering from IBS, where your gut is very sensitive, so all these kind of problems when you are having, then you have to be very careful while consuming these herbs, and you always have to start with a minimum quantity, and you can see the impact of those herbs in your body. The moment you are able to tolerate that those herbs and the quantity, you can consume it. Okay. This is very important when you are prescribing these herbs to your patients also. So always start with a very minimum quantity, and you can always increase the quantity depending upon the kind of results you are getting. So black pepper is a herb in Ayurveda also. It is called marich. Okay. And the best property of black pepper is, if you combine black pepper with any of the herb, okay, whether it is ginger, dry ginger powder, cinnamon, or any other herb, what is the role of black pepper? That it can penetrate into the at the cellular level, in the at the micro level, it can penetrate in your body. So whenever you combine black pepper with any other herb, the absorption increases and the efficacy of that particular herb increases. So that is the first quality of, you can say, black pepper. And that is why in Ayurveda, when different preparations are made, black pepper is an important part, because it can increase the reach of that particular herb to the various parts of your body. Secondly, black pepper, when you want to consume, especially for people who are suffering from diabetes or obesity and hypothyroidism, in all these conditions where your metabolism is very slow, okay, where your digestion is very sluggish, you feel very low throughout the day. So in all such cases, black pepper works. How you have to consume it? See, it has to be taken and started with the quantity of 1/4 teaspoon, not 5 gram or 10 gram. This is a very high quantity for black pepper. Okay. So you have to start with 1/4 teaspoon with water, or you can make a decoction out of it. For example, there is a preparation in Ayurveda that we call trikatu. So what is trikatu? Trikatu, three means three. And katu means, katu is a flavor, like which we call spicy flavor. Okay. Like you must have heard, all of you, that in Ayurveda there are six tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. So this pungent taste is called katuras. Okay. Trikatu means it is a preparation which has these three herbs which has the katuras or pungent taste. One is the black pepper, one is the long pepper, and the other one is dry ginger powder. So when we take the powder of all these three herbs in equal quantity, we mix it, then this is a very good remedy for the people who are suffering from obesity. Okay. So when anyone who wants you to prescribe anything for the weight loss, so Trikatu is the preparation that you can prescribe them. And this preparation you can start because all the three herbs are there. So you can start with 5 grams of Trikatu powder. You have to, mix it in warm water, 1 glass of warm water, and consume it after meals. So try to consume all these herbs after meals, not empty stomach. Okay. So it is very important. Yeah. So you have to consume these herbs in the proper dosage along with the anupan. Anupan we call the kind of, uh, like you can take it with water or you can take it with water. Similarly, people who are very fond of curd and dairy preparations, okay, but their body does not allow them, they don't feel very comfortable after having those preparation. For example, after having milk, some people they have this problem of, they get cough, cold very easily after consuming milk. There is the formation of cough. So when you are boiling the milk, what you have to do, you have to just crush 2 to 3 pieces of black pepper and you have to boil it along with the milk. Second thing, if you are very fond of curd or you want to take these kind of things, but your body is not allowing you to have, then you can add little bit of black pepper powder into the curd along with some roasted jeera, and then you can consume it. So black pepper is especially is going to make your food so that you can easily digest that food. Okay, so it boosts your digestive fire and you can consume it after having your meals. Don't take it empty stomach. About today is cardamom. So cardamom is the green cardamom is also there, and elaichi we call it. So elaichi is something that we all know, and most of us also consume it after having our meals because it is very much helpful in your digestion. So green cardamom, especially, you can how you are going to consume it. You can either make a powder of it, or you can boil it in water in the form of decoction. You can take it, and you can also combine 2 or 3 herbs which we have just discussed. And out of these 2, 3 herbs, you can make a decoction for yourself. Now we will be talking about some herbs which are not easily available in your kitchen, but those herbs are available easily when you see it in the market. Okay. And these are certain herbs which has beneficial effect in your body. So you must have been thinking that why we are talking about herbs, like we can do everything with nutrition also, with diet plan also. So basically, when you want to be healthy, okay, you can consume a healthy diet. But when you want to heal your body, when you want to, repair something, when you want to manage certain diseases in your body, you need some extra things. And those extra nutrients comes from the herbs that we are consuming. And when you consume these herb in proper dosage and quantity and duration, then only you will be able to see the result of these herbs. Okay. So now the next herb that we are going to talk about is jasmine flower. So jasmine, any one of you would like to know, share like what is jasmine flower? You can write it down in the chat box also. Have you ever heard the name of what is jasmine? Jasmine flowers, or anybody who has used it can share your experience. You can write it down in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, it has calming effect for good sleep. Yes. Yes, it is good for balancing the food, you know, after, that we eat, calming. Yeah. Yeah. So jasmine is basically, we all know it is a flower. And okay, yes, good to sleep. Yeah. Yeah. So jasmine flower is basically, we can, use jasmine flower to make infusion. We have been using jasmine with our clients from last 20 years, and we have seen a very good improvement in the people who are having water retention problem. So this jasmine infusion that we prescribe to the patients and the clients, especially who are having water retention. For example, they are having, maybe this water retention is very common in the people who are having hypothyroidism. They tell you that they feel puffiness around the face, eyes, hands, legs. So whenever any of your patient complains that they are facing the problem of water retention in the body, see, first thing which is very important is to diagnose the condition. Okay. Why water retention is there in your body, you need to identify that. First thing, it could be temporary water retention. Maybe someone who is having some eating out, late dinner, or something, food which is rich in salt and sodium, like Chinese food. When you eat, you get a lot of water retention next day. So that is a temporary phase where also you can use this jasmine infusion. But there are certain medical conditions where you get the water, retention. Like hypothyroid is one of the condition. PCOD is also one of the condition. Like in any hormonal imbalance, whenever there is a hormonal imbalances in your body, you get this water retention. There are certain medications also. When you take a course of antibiotic or painkiller, you get a lot of water retention in your body. So jasmine is not the diuretic. So diuretic is something which flushes out the extra water from your body. Okay. So jasmine is not like that. It is a very, you can say it, diuretic is basically a substance which just leaches out the water from the body. But there are certain natural things, like jasmine is one of them. Then there is another herb that we call punarnava. Okay. Punarnava in Ayurveda is a herb which has these kind of properties. And these herbs are also very effective for the patients who are suffering from stone problems like kidney stone. So Punarnava is one herb which we suggest to such patients. So again, let's come back to the water retention part. So there are certain medications also which causes water retention. And it is also very important to check the KFT, which is the kidney function test. Okay. Because we should not always think that water retention is temporary. There might be certain underlying causes behind that. When you get the KFT done, you need to check the uric acid levels, creatinine levels, and the other parameters which are there. So in kidney patients also, there is a lot of water retention in the body. But what is the difference? Anyone who wants to tell me what is the difference between the water retention that you see in a kidney patient and the water retention that you see in a hormonal imbalance like hypothyroidism or PCOD, which is not that fatal. But yes, patients who are suffering from kidney disease, the kind of water retention they are having, it is actually fatal. So anyone who can tell me how you are going to differentiate between all like these two kind of swelling in the body, you can say. Okay, in kidney diseases, basically water retention is usually in the legs. Yeah. But normally, I think some of you must have seen that by the end of the day, when you reach home, and sometimes your legs, they swells up like anything. But the next morning when you wake up, it's absolutely fine. Yeah. So basically, we need to check. So when you see the water retention, which is not that dangerous for your body, you can see that it fluctuates. Like sometimes people are having a lot of water retention when they wake up early in the morning. And by the end of the day, they can see that water retention reduces and they become absolutely fine. And vice versa also. Like by the evening, they get water retention, and next morning, when they are having a rest, sound sleep for 8, 9 hours, and next morning, when they wake up, they are perfectly fine. But when it is related to the kidney, you don't see that kind of transition. It is a permanent water retention. Okay. This water retention, you have to consult with the physician, you have to check your parameters, and you have to treat it according to the condition of the patient. Today, the water retention that we are talking about is the water retention, which is, it could be a temporary water retention, it could be your nature, like as we know that in kapha individuals, their body is prone to have this water retention problem. Okay, so mostly they have this problem. So you can suggest jasmine infusion. People who are having hypothyroidism, you can suggest them jasmine infusion, or people who are having PCOD, okay, any hormonal imbalance because of which they are having this problem. So you can suggest them to have this jasmine infusion. And second thing is about jasmine is it has a soothing effect on your body. So people who are having vata imbalance, like anxiety. Yes, so somebody has written dhania seed, coriander seed water. Yes, that is also very good uh, for the people who are having water retention. You have to just soak coriander seeds, धनिया के जो बीज होते हैं साबुत, उसको हल्का क्रश करके you just have to soak it overnight and you can consume this water early morning. If you are not diabetic, then you can also add mishri into it. It has the cooling property also. So this is also very good, dhania seed powder. Yes. So that is also very effective. So this jasmine infusion is something that can also be given to the patients who are having uh, anxiety issues, especially the vata aggravated people. So it is good for them. It is good for sleep. I think some of you have just mentioned that it is good for the people who are having sleep issues. So you can take jasmine infusion after having your dinner. So that is also very effective. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about an infusion, not an infusion, but we will be talking about some other herbs today. We'll talk about amla. Okay. And all of you know that amla is a rich source of vitamin C. But the amla is something, normally what happens when you heat anything which contains vitamin C, it is very, you know, you can say the properties of vitamin C get neutralized very easily when it comes in contact with heat. Okay. But amla is the only fruit, even if you boil it or even if you grind it or put it in your vegetables, soups, dips, anything you make it, it remains the same way. The nutrients, the vitamin C content and everything. Second thing, it contains a lot of fiber. So if you can get a chance to see how in factories, or not in factories, like in where we make chavan prash. So in a chavan prash, the major ingredient is amla. Okay, so when they are making chavan prash, they boil amla in a decoction where they are using a lot of other herbs, and they're boiling amla into it. And then they mash the amla. So when you mash a boiled amla, you see that there is a lot of fiber into it. There is a lot of fiber in amla. Okay. So along with vitamin C, amla is very good source of fiber. And people who are consuming amla, some people are okay with raw amla, but some people they consume in the vegetable juice, they put amla, and sometimes they just grate it and put it in dal and when you make chutney. So try to incorporate amla in your body. So in amla in Ayurveda is called a rasayan. What is rasayan? See, rasayan is a food that give nourishment to your seven dhatus which are there in your body. So we have a layer of tissues in our body. Like we have in the first layer ras, which is called plasma. Then we have rakt, which is called blood. Then we have muscles. Then we have bones. Then we have bone marrow. And at the end, there is you can say the last product that is meant is the fertility. You can say the fertility fluid or which is there in the male and as well as in female. That is the sar of all the sapt dhatus that we have. So when we are saying that amla is the rasayan, amla has the property to nourish all these seven layers. Okay. So it is very important when you consume amla every day, single amla, one amla you can consume if it is fresh. If you're not getting the fresh amla, you can take amla powder. You can also consume amla candies, but if you're diabetic, then do not consume candies because it has a little bit of sugar into it. So this is something that can be consumed. Then there is another herb that we are talking about is Garcinia. Garcinia, the Hindi name of Garcinia is Vrikshamla. And people who are from South India, it is called kokum. It is also sour in taste, and people over in the South they use this kokum to make curries to provide flavor to the curry. So Vrikshamla is very good for a problem which we call insulin resistance again. And Vrikshamla is also good for the people who wants to lose weight because it has certain compounds in it which reduces the appetite. It's not like that when you consume, Vrikshamla, your appetite completely gone. No, but people who are having cravings for a lot of food, people who are having, the appetite is such that, it is causing trouble to them. So for those people, it is very good, especially for the people who are suffering from diabetes. This Garcinia is very effective for those people also. Okay. So now we will be taking the questions. And if you have any questions regarding herbs that we have discussed today, or maybe anything else that you want to know, you can write it down in the chat box. And one by one, I'll answer your queries. Yeah, sea buckthorn. So sea buckthorn is also it's a berry basically, sea buckthorn. And this sea buckthorn is very good for the people. Again, it is rich in vitamin C, and it is good for people who are having inflammatory disorders. Like it is good for liver, and it is also good for your skin and hair. This sea buckthorn, and nowadays it is easily available also in the powder form. It is available in the liquid form also. It is available that you can consume. And who should avoid kokum? Kokum is something, see, mostly, there are certain foods people are allergic to, that you are not aware of. Kokum is something that we usually don't contain, take in our diet. Similarly, like some people are allergic to aloe vera. So if some person is allergic to a particular herb or medicine or food also, then only those people should avoid kokum. Or if you are facing any, specific trouble with that, after having any particular herb, if you are not comfortable, if you are feeling bloating or irritation or any loose stomach, then you should immediately stop that herb. Okay. Okay, Vrikshamla is available in the form of powder also. It's available in the form of capsules also. So you can consume it. There are many preparations available in the market that you can go for. We will also be sharing the link of the herbs that we are having with us. You can explore that also. So I want our marketing team to share the link of the herbs in the chat box so that people can easily copy from there and save, or maybe they can take a screenshot. So just share the link.
Okay.
Jasmine in and then infection or abscess. See, abscess is something where you need to work on, some with some antibiotics definitely. But overall, if you want to have a good dental health, there is, leaves of amrud you can use. It has a styptic properties. It constricts the things. Similarly, you can also do oil pulling. Oil pulling is a technique where you use cold pressed oils. It could be coconut oil you can use. So you use 10 or 15 ml of coconut oil, and you just have to keep it in your mouth and just roll it out for 1 or 2 minutes and then just throw it out. And then wash your mouth with warm water. So that is called oil pulling. It nourishes all your gums, teeth, and gums related problems. Okay. And then any name of the herbs. So there we have discussed many herbs today. We will be uploading this on our YouTube channel, maybe, and then we will be sharing the link with you. As turmeric acts as a blood thinner, is it advised to give to everyone with warm water? See, anything, if we are talking about turmeric and we are saying it is a blood thinner, so it's not like if a small amount of turmeric is going to cause a problem for you. When you are consuming turmeric, raw turmeric in the higher quantity and dosage, then it is, act as a blood thinner mostly. Okay, and yes, we can consume it with warm water. So Trikatu powder, which we have discussed today, it has the equal proportions of black pepper powder, dry ginger powder, and long pepper powder. So this is the combination. Trikatu preparation itself is available in the market also, like Triphala is available. Similarly, many pharmacies, they make Trikatu powder also. Sea buckthorn is available in the form of fruit, dry fruit, like it is the dry seeds and the fruits, berries are available, dry berries are available. And you just have to boil it with water and then you can have it. Okay, then IBS. See, IBS is something which is related with your mental health. So for IBS, rather than just, so in IBS, we need to focus on two things. One is to manage your anxiety and stress, and second thing is your gut health. Okay, so mostly people who are having IBS, they are having this problem with either it is linked with some particular food. So for IBS patient, we suggest them to maintain a food diary and to note down when the symptoms are aggravating. So when the symptoms, they have to just, analysis of the diet they have to do. And if we talk about the herbs which are good for IBS patient, so basically we need to give them prebiotic food. We need to give them ginger. We need to give them banana is good, apple is good, the fiber is good for them, which is basically the food for the bacteria which are there in your body. And just manage your anxiety by having jasmine infusion, brahmi, and doing nasyam. All these therapies and herbs are going to help you. See, empty stomach, I would not suggest you to have ginger tea. Ginger tea, if you are talking about infusion, that is fine, but not the regular tea. Okay. Kokum is something, as I have told you, kokum is available in the form of capsules also. Vrikshamla, it is there. We have shared the link of all these herbs here also, like jasmine infusion, rhododendron, and gacula. You can of those herbs. You can read more about it. Okay. So maybe in the further session, I would also like to know in the further sessions, if we are going to continue, what are the things or the disease you want us to cover? If you can write it down in the chat box. Okay. Gacula is basically a herb which is a combination of three herbs. Okay, it has turmeric, it has amla, it has garcinia. It is good for weight loss. For height, see, there is no specific herb for height. There are multiple things we need to do. We need to do physical activity. We need to take care of nutrition and certain herbs which act as a rasayan, like ashwagandha is one of them, which nourishes the seven layers of your body. So those kind of herbs are good for people who wants to increase height, but not a particular herb is going to help you just to increase your height. It is the your nutrition, your exercise, all these things plays a major role. So Garcinia, if you want to consume, you have to take it, before meals, 30 minutes before meal with warm water, before your lunch and before your dinner. Okay. And gallbladder, see, for gallbladder, as such, it's not like that you consume any specific herb and it is going to cure your gallbladder stone. No, this is not going to happen. But yes, for the liver health, you can take herbs which are actually going to help you and to prevent such conditions. Okay. For pitta, you can take fennel seed water. You can also take coriander seed water. You can take amla juice with other vegetable juices in the morning. Okay. There are a lot many queries are coming. We will be connecting with you and providing you the tips based on this. Okay. So we will be covering all these topics in the next sessions. We have our team with us and they have noted down all these conditions which, like, some people want to know about gut health, tonsillitis, PCOS, peripheral artery disease, lifestyle disorders. Okay, someone has writing Seabuckthorn. Okay. Yeah, Seabuckthorn is good. Seabuckthorn is a berry. It is good for your health. You can take it. So there are many things which we are not aware of earlier, but I think because of social media. But I would always suggest you that anyone, even if I am also suggesting you something, go on internet. There are various research papers available. So you can just go through one or two research papers also so as to see the efficacy of those herbs and then you can consume that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll be covering all these topics. Yeah. Thank you so much. I would like to take a feedback now. If you can just share your feedback before you leave in the session. These papers are available on site, like when on Google, and there are various research papers available. You can check that. Okay, I would like to thank you all of you for joining, and all of you are so interactive, and it is feel very good when we have so much of interactive session when people participate. So thank you so much for joining, and we have noted down all your suggestions and your things that you want us to cover in the next sessions. So we'll definitely cover that. So thank you so much for joining today's session.